Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm going to be doing a review on Expend4bles 4. So, Expend4bles 4 is the fourth and latest installment in the Expend4bles franchise, and is directed by Scott Wah, if that's how you pronounce his name, and it stars Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Dolph Lundgren, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, I hope I pronounced the name right, Randy Korcher, Andy Garcia, Jacob Scipio, Levi Tran, etc. And so basically the film tells a story once again about the Expend4bles members who must stop Iko Uwais' character named Ramat from trying to unleash a nuclear bomb inside the ship. But and although during a mission, a member dies. I'm gonna talk about that as a spoiler, but not now. So if you're worried about spoilers, don't worry. I won't say it. Like the spoilers will be later. One member dies, and so like after the death of that major character, the rest of the Expend4bles team must avenge his death, and yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, now yes, you've seen my Expend4bles my review of the first three Expend4bles films, and you probably know that I'm not really a huge Expend4bles fan. Now yeah, it's really sad for me to not be a fan because I am a fan of action. You all know how generous I am to action movies. I think action is my favorite genre, but Expend4bles is just not one. It's probably one of the weaker action franchises. The problem with Expend4bles is that it just feels like it's concept. Like I understand it's trying to be a dumb fun movie, like and throw back the 80s, but the first film failed at that concept. The first film just fumbled on that concept. It just wasted every potential it had. The second film's the one Expend4bles movie I liked. I think that movie did everything the first film failed at. It's able to actually live up to its concept of. Of just being dumb fun 80s cheese, like 80s throwback cheese, and it does that. And Expend4bles 3 on the other hand, yeah, that film sucks. That film is basically a throwback to all these bad modern movie sequels to 80s classic that's ruined. Oh, by the way, I'm in the mall, so once I get background noise, sorry about that. I apologize. But anyway, back on topic. Yeah, Expend4bles 3 freaking sucks, and that movie's basically like one of those sequels to bad 80s films, and it pretty much ruined everything Expend4bles. So making it PG-13 was a dick move. Okay, I actually went to A Quiet Place. I hope my review can be better from here, but yeah, like Expend4bles 3. But so with Expend4bles 4, oh my god, yeah. Sorry guys, my god, so hard to find a place to record. But anyways, guys, yeah, stop getting distracted. Sorry, I'll try to stop getting distracted by it. I hope you guys won't get distracted by the background noise. But yeah, when I first announced they announced an Expend4bles 4, I actually was not looking forward to it. I was like, really, an Expend4bles 4 to like one of the most forgotten franchises? I mean, who in the hell even remembers the Expend4bles? I don't know anyone who even remotely remembers this franchise even existed. Yeah, this was like one of those this sequels that just came out of nowhere, and you just don't know why it exists. So yeah, we got Expend4bles 4. But I will admit, when I saw the trailer for Expend4bles 4, I actually surprisingly liked the trailer. I thought the Expend4bles 4 trailer is actually pretty good. It looked like a lot of fun, and it looked like it could be like one of, if not the best Expend4bles film. And so I was actually kind of looking forward to the film, but at the same time, still very skeptical. Very skeptical about this. So yeah, So yeah, I saw this movie cinemas today. I saw this movie cinemas today, and honestly, I'll just start by saying it's probably the worst cinema experience I had this year so far. So far, yeah, it's probably the worst. Like, where do I get started with it? Where do I even get started? Yeah. First of all, once again I actually saw this in the middle of my school day in the nearby mall, one of my nearby malls, and honestly, the cinema I chose, it was actually a cinema that I used to go a lot of times during when I was a kid, and the last time I saw a movie there was 2014. The last movie I saw in that cinema was Rio 2, which we don't talk about, and yeah, Rio 2 was the last movie I saw in the theater, and then I chose there because I was just curious to see. I remember it being bad, but I was curious to see like how it is, and no boy, the cinema, like yeah, the cinema is so bad that I pretty much affected my cinema experience. This is hands down the worst experience I had this year because the cinema, first of all, the cinema's trash. Like what the hell? Like seriously, I have no idea who designed it. I'm not gonna try and insult the designer of the theater, but yeah, it was like dog poo. Like the seats are as hard as a rock. My God, like the seats are so uncomfortable. It feels like a rock, and yeah, and it was not even that comfortable. The popcorn sucks. The popcorn is okay, but like they don't even like this. It's so bland on the flavor, and I was just like, and my back was like kind of hurting. Yeah, I got a lot of these back pains. But yeah. But anyways, yeah. On with my thoughts on the film itself. And yeah, what did I think of the film? Yeah, I was hoping. Yeah, so my expectations for this film. I wanted this to be the best Expendables film, even dethroning the second film. It looked like such a dumb, fun, guilty pleasure, and Megan Fox, who I think is a completely hit or miss actress. Sometimes she's great, but sometimes she's the saving grace of the bad movie. But sometimes she just gives bad performance. But Megan Fox's movies, the movies that she chooses, her agent chooses, my God. Honestly, Megan Fox's agent should be fired. And Megan Fox should get a new agent who can like give her better roles. Because Expendables 4 is another example of Megan Fox's missed opportunity. And yes, people, I did not like Expendables 4. I thought this movie was a huge letdown. And one of my most disappointing movies of the year. I'm not sure if I would say it's my most disappointing because I wasn't expecting too much from it. I think I'll think about it. If I call it my most disappointing movie of the year, it's either this or Beau is Afraid. One of those two. But yeah. Anyways, where do I even start with this? This movie is underwhelming. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I will say that the first half of the film, the first half, I already say, oh boy, this movie's gonna suck. You could already tell the movie's gonna suck, but then I was like thinking deep down, I was like, oh, no, I don't think it's gonna suck. I think it's just the opening. I trust that it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better as the movie progresses. No, it doesn't get better from there. If I just the quality still remains the same and still remains the same. Yeah, and yeah, I'm sorry, but I will say so. It is leaps and bounds better than Expendables 3. Yeah, Expendables 3 it's just but Expendables 3 really set a low bar for this franchise. Very low standards where you can't come back from that because yeah, Expendables 3 that's I mean the more I think about it, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. But yeah, Expendables 4. Yes, the first two Expendables films are better than this. Yes, even the first one, which I gave a bad review to and called it mid. But yeah, this one, it's not even mid. It's actually just plain bad, honestly. But are there any good things to say about this film? Like, are there actually some redeeming qualities to it? Well, yes, actually there are some good things to say about it. It's not a complete disaster. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't even type into a rant. So therefore, yeah, there's definitely some good things to say in this film. Now there is one thing this movie does stand out in the franchise, stands out from the rest, and that is the characters. No, I'm not saying the cast is better. I'm not saying something like Megan Fox is better than Arnold, Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis, because hell no to that. But what I mean is that, you know, they did reduce the amount of characters. One of my biggest issues with the first three, yes, second film included, is that there's way too many characters, so it's really hard. It's really hard for you to follow these characters because there's just way too many of them. Even if it's like a huge cast ensemble with 80 stars, some of them I don't even know. So some of them are just, you know, there for the sake of being there, and you just don't know what on earth is their purpose. But in this one, I think this has the easiest characters to follow. This is probably the best set of characters. They're very easy to follow. They're very easy to follow. They're like I don't think and like there's not really a character I would say is bad. Well, technically there are two bad characters in this movie. Two characters I don't like. Well, I'll talk about them when I get to my negative. When I talk about the negatives, there's two bad characters, but the rest of them are really good. And I can name a lot of standouts in this movie. The standout of the movie is definitely Megan Fox. Even though I complained about Megan Fox's agent picking her bad movies, I actually mean it, because Megan Fox actually did give a good performance. And again, just like the first Transformers movie and some other Megan Fox movies, Megan Fox is actually one that saves the film the most. Yeah, everything Megan Fox I love. Now I will admit though, there was one scene in the beginning of the film where Megan Fox was annoying, was an asshole to her own boyfriend, fiance, whatever. Yeah, I didn't like Megan Fox in the first scene, but as the film progressed, I think Megan Fox just started to become just straight up the best character of the film. Yeah, and I think this might be Megan Fox's best role in recent years, and her best performance, her best role since Jennifer Check and Jennifer's Body. Yeah, I'm going that far. Yeah, Megan Fox she's just really good in this movie, and Megan Fox is not only the best character in the film, but also the best Expendables character in general. And there's also Levi Tran's character, the Asian blonde-haired girl, who is probably my second favorite Expendables franchise character. For some reason, she looks like Shin Hati from Ashoka. Yeah, she looks like the good version of Shin Hati. Shin Hati, if Shin Hati was an ally, yeah, that's how she kind of looks. That's what she looks like. Shin Hati is an ally, and she's probably the most badass Expendables character. Like when especially with like her weapon, the chain, she literally just whips people off, and also in the Expendables 4 trailer, the shot of Levi Tran's character whipping a bad guy's ass off and then just making him flip like it's badass, and I think it was completely worth it here to seeing her just kick so much ass. I love that. Yeah. Jason Statham's also great. I like that Jason Statham. I really like that. Yeah, I like Jason Statham in this movie. I think this movie is actually about Jason Statham's character named Chris. In the past Expendables films, it was all about Sylvester Stallone's character Barney Rose, but now it's about Lee Christmas. It's about Jason Statham. He's like the main guy in the film. I think he's a worthy. Worthy protagonist. He's a worthy character to lead. Like he plays second fiddle to Sylvester Stallone in the previous one, but now he's like, oh, I'm gonna be on top of everyone. I'm gonna be like your new boss now, and the leading character. And what else is there? This movie has the best villain of the entire series. No competition with Iko Uwais' Ramad. I honestly, this is gonna shock you, but I have not seen the Raid films yet. But now after seeing the villain in this film, I want to watch the Raid at some point. I don't know when yet, but now I want to watch the Raid after seeing this film, the Raid duology. Yeah, because Iko Uwais is such a badass, one of the most badass characters, one of my favorite Expendables character in general, and I just love him. Like, Jason Statham, like he's such a badass, especially when he threw that like super fast punch, like almost like the Flash level punch. Like that was so badass, man. That is like one of the most badass like moves, and maybe he might even be in my top 10 favorite villains of the year. He's that good. Tony Jaa is also a great character as well. Yeah, she's also a great character as well. I like the scene where I like the part where Levi Chan and Iko Uwais fought together like what you saw in the trailer. And while I definitely have things to say about the action scenes, I will say that there's some good bits of action there, especially with the whole Expendables team like just fighting together on that ship. But that's all for my positives. Now let's get into all my big problems with the film, all my major issues with the film, with the Expendables. So now one thing that the Expendables 4 does is bring the R ratedness. Yeah, I will admit, yes, this movie kind of does have a reason to exist. It's to make up for the failure that the Expendables 3 was. It's to just simply make up for what Expendables 3 failed in, like by bringing back the R ratedness and bringing back the over the top, because the trailer had some really over the top action and over the top kick-ass action, and it did show a lot of potential, but ultimately the movie we got, it just fell flat on his face, right? It just fell flat on his face, so which is really disappointing for me to say, because what a like bad movie this was, and it's also kind of boring in some ways. It's also a bit boring. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes. In some ways, it's also a bit boring. In some ways, it's also a bit boring. But it's not as boring. It's thankfully not as boring as Expendables 3. It's boring as Expendables 3. Sorry about that. I'm a little distracted. I just dropped something actually. I just dropped something for some reason, but yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I think this movie does waste all its potential for a good Expendables film, and this is what we got, and it's just really disappointing. Now, yeah, I don't even know what to start with this. First of all, let me just get it out of the way. There is no story at all. There's barely a plot to this film. Yeah, there's no story here. There's barely a plot, and this is pretty much the most plotless, the most storyless of all the Expendables films. Yeah, there's like nothing at all. Like the movie barely even tries to tell a story. Now I know, yes, this movie isn't meant to be story driven, but at least the first 3 Expendables films actually does try to have a story. So therefore, yeah, I think this is the worst. When it comes to the plot, yes, this is the worst of them all. The worst of them all. What else? Yeah, the worst of them all. And honestly, but not. I want to get straight into the thing that disappointed me the most: the action scenes. Yeah, the action scene. Like I was hoping that I would absolutely love the action scenes. Like I would just be put on the edge of my seat. I was like hoping for I was hoping for such a fun time, but what we got is just I will admit though, the action scenes were there. The quality of the action scenes were there. They showed a lot of potential for great action, for fun. Like it showed a lot of potential to feature the best action scenes of the year. Like we got some badass action like with Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, and also especially Megan Fox and Levi Tran, like showing off their badass skills, and kind of for Jason Statham as well. But what ruined the act? But there is one thing that ruined the action scenes. And that comes from two words: shaky cam. Hollywood. Like, is it that hard to not shake the camera? Are you actually doing it on purpose at this point? You're just like, oh, let's just shake cam because it's low quality BS. Yeah, it's a low quality film, so let's just shake the camera. No, yeah, but no, it's just yeah, shaking a camera. Hollywood, just stop. It's not that hard to not shake the camera. Like, why? Like I don't know what to say. Like, I'm baffled that Hollywood just continues to do this. Now, while the action scenes are a tad bit better than the ones in Expendables 3, at least Expendables 3 actually doesn't have shaky cam. At least the camera wasn't shaking. I would say, even though like it's just choppy editing, and even this one had choppy editing too. Yeah, that actually scene with the truck chase, with that chase scene, the one in the, I don't know what to describe it, but it's like a vehicle moving scene. That was like the part where I was like, oh, is this movie going to disappoint? Because I will admit, the bar fight with Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham kicking ass together, that was actually maybe my favorite action scene in the film, honestly, in all honesty. Maybe, but I'm not sure. But then you got that truck chase scene with, and then you got like shaky cam. I was like, what the hell? Why are you showing a shaky cam? We don't need this. We don't need that crap. We don't need that crap. We don't need shaky cam. Yeah, like I seriously don't know what's the point of that. So I hope that Hollywood will probably not will just stop. And I actually have not even seen I actually don't even remember seeing a shaky cam in a film since Snake Eyes. And yeah, talking about Snake Eyes, this is basically the Snake Eyes of 2023. This is basically, even like with 2022 movies, I don't recall a single shaky cam action movie. But if you know a shaky cam action movie, let me know that in comments so I can just point out if I've seen that film or not. But what else is there? Oh yeah. Now, yeah, I think, yeah, I actually don't have a lot of negatives to say. Like it's just some, but everything negative I have to say really affects the film. Yeah, because they're huge negatives. Huge negatives. Yeah, the shaky cam pretty much just ruining the fun, because this movie doesn't feel as fun as it should be because of the shaky cam. And also, like what I said, yeah, the story is the worst in the franchise. The story hits rock bottom, and one of the worst scripts of the year, honestly. Now, remember those characters I said I don't like? Well, there's actually three characters that I did not like in this movie. But let's start off with with one character, because two of them are going to be spoilers. Two of them are going to be spoilers. But one thing I will say is, remember Antonio Banderas' character from Expendables 3, aka the worst Expendables character ever? Well, guess what? He has a son. Well, he didn't mention that he has a son, and he plays a major role in this movie. And guess what? He's actually just almost as annoying as Antonio Banderas' character is. I actually figured out that Antonio Banderas' character is named Galgo. I just found out because they mentioned his name in this one. But his son's name is Galga. Yeah, like Galago or Gaga. Like, sounds like that, right? He's not he doesn't piss me off as much as Galgo does, but boy, is he just annoying and probably the worst character in the film. Well, okay, yes. Now I'm gonna be talking a bit of spoilers here, major spoilers. I won't like spend too much time on the spoilers, but if you don't want to be spoiled, then just yeah. If you don't want to be spoiled, then just don't watch. Just if you're an Expendables fan and you don't want to hear spoilers, then just watch the movie first. Even though I don't recommend it, yeah, just try. Just give it a try. But yeah, spoilers. spoilers. Huh. Yep, okay, let's talk about the twist villain because, yes, believe me, there is a twist villain in the film, and that is Andy Garcia's character. Yeah, so basically, Andy Garcia is basically like the Bruce Willis and Harrison Ford of this film. Where he's like the boss. He's the one who recruited them to stop Ramad on this mission, but turns out, Iko Uwe is Ramad's boss is actually Andy Garcia, and I was like, oh my god, why? Like, and yes, apparently Andy Garcia is the true villain of the movie, and Iko Uwe is just the henchman apparently. Like, seriously, movie? Like, what a waste to like. Why did you need to make a twist villain? I mean, Iko Uwe is fine as a villain, but I think now he got like Iko Uwe deserved the far better. So yeah, that's just twist villain. Just there's no need for a twist villain. Oh yeah, and also here's one common sense. Why did like when Raman mentioned that his boss told him his boss has a detonator and he has a boss, how did Megan Fox know that his boss was Andy Garcia's character? How did she know that? Like, she just straight up said, oh, it's Andy Garcia without even having to think about it. Yeah, that kind of doesn't make any sense in my opinion. And I absolutely hated what they did with Sylvester Stallone's character. Like, I hated what they did with him. Oh my goodness, that was distasteful. So, you know those cliches in movies where a character dies in some ways, and then everyone thinks he's dead, but then later on in the film, it's revealed that the dead character actually faked his death. Yes, they did that with Barney in this, where Barney died from a plane crash, and then the whole mission, it was. I mean, it may have been them like going after the detonator, but actually, the front and center of the real purpose of the mission is to get revenge on Iko Uwe for killing, quote unquote, killing Barney. But turns out Barney is alive at the end. Like, why? Like, and he's saying, oh, I faked my own death because blah 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 blah. Like, why? Like, what's with these fake out death? Yeah. The Critical Drinker just made a video about fake death and characters just don't die. Like, they keep bringing back characters from the dead, and that's even though I hate Critical Drinker, I think that might be his most valid video yet. It's now looking at that video from this film. I'll admit that I actually refused to watch that Critical Drinker video, but after seeing this film, I decided to check it out, and yeah, I mean. Expend4bles is a perfect example of just how to just not let your characters die, just to straight up forcefully bring back your characters because the script says so. Oh yeah, and before I conclude this mini rant, even though it's not really a rant, I would like to point out the worst scene in the film, the scene that actually made me be like, okay, you know what, screw it, this is a bad movie. Screw it, I think this movie's bad. There was a scene in the film where, the Expend4bles got caught by the guards. Instead of fighting back, which, by the way, there's actually a lack of action. Like, the action scenes are big in scale, but there's only 3 to 4 action scenes, which yeah. But yeah, they get captured and taken get locked in this random place, and this random area. Or our room, I think. Like, there was, and they were trying to find a way to escape. And you know how they escaped? There was this vault that was completely closed, and it was said that the vault has to be wet in order to, the door has to be wet in order to open. Guess what? One of the characters pees, and I mean pee as in the toilet pee, pee like that. He pees on the door until it opens. What the actual hell? What were you thinking, right? Just making that pee joke. Like, I was like, okay. I was trying so hard to actually like this film or at least call it okay. But that scene was where I was like, that scene just drew the line. That scene where I was like, okay, you know what? I don't like this movie. I confirmed it. Why? So yeah, overall, Expendables 4 is a huge disappointment. Now this movie does have a few things that stands out from the rest, from the first three movies, but it just ends up just being falling flat on its face. And this is the second weakest Expendables movie, second only behind Expendables 3. It's not a terrible movie, but yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for Megan Fox, I would have actually called this a rant and actually straight up hated this movie. I don't hate this movie, I just think it's just plain bad. So with that said, I'm gonna give Expendables 4 2 stars out of 5. So also for my review of Expendables 4, there's actually, as I'm recording this, there's actually no Rotten Tomatoes score yet. No Rotten Tomatoes score yet. So yeah, but I know it's gonna be rotten. It's gonna be rotten to the core because of how bad this movie is. Yeah. So yeah, I can't say what's your opinion yet because I don't think you have seen the film yet because it's not even out. It's not even out in the US yet until tomorrow. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for what's my next. I don't know what my next video is, but just stay tuned for more videos to come. Bye, guys.